Hello, and I'm back. Second time today with a video promised transfer update from Speaking Spurs with me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, support the video with a like, put your comments below, and for this one it's important because it's about transfers. Your opinions on this really do matter. Interested as to what you think of the players we're linked with and who you would like to see that we aren't linked with. So jumping straight in, Adama Traore, heavily linked with us in the summer, especially once we got Espirito Santo in the door. Former player of his, always done well there. Doherty should be on his way out the door. We think it's not worked out well for him. Emerson Royale will be staying, but we're looking for another right wing back. This could be that man. We've seen it before under Conte. Victor Moses was somebody he transformed into a wing back. Could be the same kind of situation here. But Adama Traore has much more power. He has the speed. Hasn't got the end product. Is this something Conte could bring out of him? Now, 40 to 50 million was what we were being quoted in the summer. Price has dropped. They're talking prices of 20 million. Now, for 20 million, I think it's worth a punt. Let me know below. What do you think of that one? Moving on to the next one, Isco from Real Madrid. Things haven't worked out well for him over the years. He's kind of gone further and further downhill every season. Ancelotti came in. Isco was quoted with moves in the summer and decided to stay and fight for his place. It hasn't gone well. He's had barely any minutes this season at all. 29 years old now, still a very good player. Real Madrid have had the money to bring in pretty much whoever they wanted. Gareth Bale obviously finds himself in a similar situation to Isco, albeit most of his non-playing time is down to injury and not getting on with Zidane at the time when he was in charge. So Isco, there's probably still abundance of quality in there, but hasn't had the opportunity because Real Madrid can sign who they want, which makes it more difficult when you're up against just superstar after superstar. Could he bring something to Tottenham? Possibly. It's an unknown quality at the moment what he can do outside of Real Madrid, just because he's probably going to be up against players for competition that aren't the same standard that he would have found at Real Madrid over the years. So it's an interesting one, especially seeing he is available for as little as 5 million. Now, the reason for that, his contract is up in the summer. So we could sign him on a pre-contract for free. But we're going to face probably a lot of competition, especially from clubs in and around Spain. Now, 5 million is not a lot of money for a footballer. 5 million is also something that we could get back for him if we wanted to move him on, based on age, quality, where he's been, etc. So not too much of a risk. What do you think to that one? Tell me below. Moving on to a possible outgoing. Tanguy Ndombele. So I feel like this one has been coming for a while. Like, I'm a massive fan of his quality that he has, but that he hasn't brought. Frustrating for many a Spurs fan. A lot of you are done with him, sick and tired of his lackluster performances, his disinterest when he gets fouled to get up and join back in play and fight for the ball. Frustrated with his consistency, his ability to drift in and out of games. Like, this is a guy that has qualities to rival people like Ronaldinho. And I'm not talking about his all-round game. I'm talking about the ability with the ball at feet. This guy is majestic. However, comes across lazy, comes across sulky, has a bad attitude, tends to put on weight quite easily and doesn't seem that bothered about it. Jose Mourinho got the best out of him. Well, I say the best. He still could have gone on to higher levels. He got the best we've seen so far, and he was key under Mourinho once he'd spent some time with him during lockdown. Now, Mourinho is the man that wants him at Roma. So what they're proposing is a loan with the option to buy if it's a success. And I think we can all agree now, based on the way it's going under Conte, it's probably time for Tanguy to move on. I mean, even myself, somebody that is a massive admirer of his potential and the qualities he possesses, I'm even at a situation now where I'm saying, look, maybe it is time to cut our losses. Let him go under Mourinho. Certain managers seem to fit players. Mourinho and Tanguy seem to work well together after their understanding. I don't know if Conte's the guy that has the patience to do that with a player. He certainly makes players better, but I think people that aren't going to put in the work rate consistently are players that are just not going to work for him, and that is Tanguy. So possibly a see you later. Comments on that one? Thoughts? Do you agree? Right, there's two more stories. One is slightly more realistic than the other, and the other one, there is a twist in the tale. So we'll go with the one that's probably the most unrealistic, and that is Romelu Lukaku. You will have seen his little spat with Chelsea. He's come out publicly, which is quite wrong. I think, from a professional standpoint, talking about his frustration since he's been at Chelsea. So he signed for them in the summer for 97.5 million from Inter Milan, where he worked with Antonio Conte. Conte got the best out of him. He obviously had a torrid time at Manchester United, and they found that there was training things they were doing that weren't helping his fitness levels, his weight, probably stuff to do with what he was eating as well. They managed to find a solution to manage him, to turn him into an absolute animal. So at Inter, he scored 47 goals in 72 Serie A games. That's not cup games. He's come out, obviously, had his issues. Him and Tuchel are meant to be having a meeting today to discuss things. So it's not all public like it is at the moment, which is not what I like to see. He's spoken in the past about his relationship with Conte, saying things like he has a great rapport with Conte, has a very strong relationship, and more recently he's come out and said that he's a coach that really helped him at the time, played more tactically at his time in Italy, helped him develop his game from a tactical awareness, learned how to play with his back to goal more. However, it seems at this stage that, one, Chelsea don't want to do business with us anyway. But let's say Harry Kane, for example, who isn't back to his best yet, and we don't know if he ever will at Spurs because of the frustrations of what went on. I don't know if that can ever be fully repaired back to where it was. If there was a swap deal involved, we know Conte can get the best out of Lukaku. What would you say to that one? I mean, I'm very unsure and very on the fence at this stage because it's a very new concept to me. But if Kane's going to continue only being half the player he was before, and Conte can get Lukaku to the heights he had him at Inter, surely it's a no-brainer, right? A swap deal? And I think that's like the only way Chelsea would do that with us. Or if we paid a decent chunk of money, but then at the same time I think Harry Kane would have to go out the door because I couldn't see them two working together. So I'll let you digest that one, and I'm sure I'm going to get some real good, interesting, in-depth comments on that. And it's probably something we'll discuss again at length. So moving on to the last transfer link, and this is one where there's been reports of other stuff going on today. Mauro Icardi. Right, so he's at PSG, obviously. They are open to selling him this January for 25 million. Now, they paid in the summer of 2020 from Inter, I think it was 45 million they paid for him. We were also interested at the time, as were Juventus. PSG got him over the line. Since then, Messi has come in the door. So he is now sitting behind Messi, Neymar and Mbappe. The only time he's getting to play at the moment is when one of them is injured or needs a rest. So game time limited. He's way too good a player to be sitting on the bench, especially at the age of 28. He's in the prime years of his career. He's been a goal-scoring threat everywhere he's been. The downside is Juventus have been linked with him today. So they are looking at a 2 million loan deal with an option to buy for 30 million in the summer. So that's extra money for a start. 5 million more than they're quoting for him to be sold. However, we could do a deal with add-ons and I'm sure get him in through the door. Now, the reason why this one could work in our favour, at Inter, Conte had Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. So you got the big guy, does all the powerful stuff that he needs to do. And then you got the slightly smaller guy, pick up the pieces, poacher. All right. Now that is Icardi. He is a great poacher. So if we look at his goal record, 124 goals in 219 appearances for Inter. All right. 36 goals in 79 appearances for PSG. Former manager Stefano Pioli dubbed him as an animal in the box. This deal, looking at the kind of player he is, and Harry Kane, the systems we could play with Conte, it makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? I think great talent, prime of his career. Harry Kane should be in the prime of his career right now. So you've got two elite level players that should be in the prime of their career. Harry Kane loves to come outside the box to collect the ball and do things from there. Icardi loves to be in the box and poach goals. You think about it, Harry Kane banging in shots from range, keepers parry them out. You've got that man to jump on them. A bit like Jermaine Defoe loved to be a bit of a poacher in the box. That kind of instinct. Would you love a man that if Harry Kane whips a shot, somebody else whips a shot, crosses across goal that are deflected, that man with the intelligence to jump on it, pop him in the back of the net? I think in the 3-5-2, these could work absolute wonders. Front three, we know he can play in that system as well because they have to do that at PSG. So he has to come in and cover for Messi, Neymar or Mbappe when one of them is injured or needs a rest, or has to come on later in a game. So we know he can play in that system as well in some capacity. Makes sense, and it's not a lot of money. If it doesn't work out, I'm sure 25 million is something you could get back for him. We already know Juventus are interested. So if we could poach him from under Juventus's noses and it doesn't work out, you know that's still an option in the summer. Why not? Why not indeed? So that's a nice short video for you with some really good transfer links in there, some more realistic than others. You know, Traore, bit of a risk as to whether it would work or not. Tanguy Ndombele, his time may have finally run out at Spurs. Isco, would he be worth a punt because he's kind of an unknown quantity these days in terms of what he can do? And then Mauro Icardi, will Juventus get this one over the line, or could we sneak in there last minute, and would you want to? Of those, I would happily see Traore come in if Doherty goes out the door. Lukaku, it's unknown territory, and I don't think it's going to be a possibility anyway. I think it's just paper noise at the moment. Ndombele, I think at this stage I'm okay with him to go out the door. Isco, I think at 5 million is worth a punt. And Icardi, I think, is an absolute no-brainer. Of all of those there, he is the man I would most want in the door because I think he works for us more than any of others and would benefit us in the long run and probably help Harry Kane get somewhere near his best. So that's it for that one. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. I know you're going to be leaving your comments below at this one. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And I will talk to you again as soon as I can. But for now, stay safe and come on you Spurs.